La Llorona, a story by the fire. Come siéntate closer, a little bit closer. Good. Now look at that fire for a poco while. Just míralo. La forma it moves around, la way it seems to breathe. Fire has been doing that same thing since las very first people sat around los very first fires, contando las very first stories. And ellos contaron this one, this same one. So I want you to know algo before I start telling la, this is not a story that someone just made up. This is a story that really happened, and it does not matter if to believe me or not, because it will not change anything about what is out there in la dark past those trees tonight. Now, can tu hear el water? There is a small stream not lejos de here. Do you hearlo? That quiet sound, like something moving where you cannot see-lo. Good. Keep listening to that sound. You'll need-lo later. A long time ago, long enough that los towns had ningún names yet, long enough that los roads were just dear paths and wishes, there was a woman, and ella was, by every account, la most beautiful woman anyone had ever seen. Her name was Maria. Ella lived in a small village along a wide river in Mexico, and ella era el kind de beautiful that made men act tontamente and made women watch out. Ella knew-lo too, not the mean way. Ella just knew her propio power, the way a bird knows it can fly. Ella walked around like ella was already part the story people would tell forever. Ella grew up poor, dirt floor, leaky roof, el kind de poor that teaches you to want things with your whole heart. And what Maria wanted, more than nada, more than food, more than estar safe, was to be loved by someone wonderful. And one day, él rodé into town, a ranchero. El rich man's son, con silver on his horse's saddle, and fire in his eyes, and a laugh that you could feel in your chest from across a room. His name isn't important. In most of los stories, él does not receive a name, and I think that's right. I think that's fair. Maria vio-lo, and something in ella clicked into place como a key in a lock. Ella was careful. Ella was patient. Ella was smart about getting what ella wanted, because poor girls have to be. She made sure él noticed ella. That was easy. And then she made sure he kept looking, which was la part hard. And él fell in love de ella, hard, the way men do when ellos don't piensan about what might happen later. Ellos had 2 children together, 2 little boys with their mother's dark eyes y their father's grand laugh. Y for a while, a bright, short, easy-to-break time, Maria was happy. Maybe not la happiness ella had dreamed about. Él never married ella. His family would not let-lo. Ella was too poor, too ordinary, not la right kind de mujer for a man like él. But él was there, and los children were there, and el river was wide and shiny in the tardes, and that was enough. Until it was not enough anymore. Until él started coming to see la less and less. Until his visits got shorter, and his eyes started looking at other women when él thought ella could not see. Until one evening, él rode up to el river donde Maria was walking with her 2 boys, and there was a woman riding beside él on another horse, a woman in beautiful clothes, a woman cuyo family apellido was important. And Maria knew, in just one beat de her heart, that ella had been like a season of the year, a beautiful season, but still just a season. And ahora la season had changed. Él talked to the chicos, él laughed with ellos, and messed up their hair. Él almost did not look at Maria at all, and luego él got on his horse and left. Now, I need you to know something about being very, very sad. El kind de sadness that hurts deep inside. La sadness that comes cuando you lose not just someone you love, but also lose the whole life you thought you were going to have with ellos. That kind of sadness does not just make you cry. Eso makes you act the ways that do not make sense. Eso changes something deep inside your mind. Eso makes el whole world feel upside down and wrong. Maria walked to the place where el river was. Her boys were next to ella, holding her hands, looking up at ella with their dark eyes. El river was moving very fast that night. Frío. There was extra water de all la spring rain, and something inside her heart se rompió. Las stories do not all say lo same thing about what happened next. Some say ella just went crazy justo then. Some say something malvado talked con ella and told her what to do. Some dicen ella knew exactly what ella was doing and did lo anyway, because ella was so angry that la anger ate up everything inside ella, even her love. But all las stories say la same thing happened. Ella held los children under el river. Her boys, sus children, her children. And when it was over, when el river had taken them, ella stood there by el river in la dark night, and los crazy feelings se fueron like niebla en el morning sun, and ella saw what ella had done. Ella screamed. Oh, how ella screamed, and ella ran along el lado of the river calling for ellos, mis hijos, my children, trying to grab el water, trying de sacarlos, but el river kept nothing and gave nothing back. El river never gives anything back. Ellos found her body la next morning, close to where los boys had gone into el water. Some say ella went under el water trying to get them back. Some say estar so sad just made her heart stop. Some dicen ella just lay down by el water and decided to die, and death saw something like itself in ella and let her. But here's la thing about personas like that. La people who leave this world screaming, with something not finished, with something ellos need so desesperadamente, ellos don't go quietly to whatever comes after. Ellos stay. Ellos hang around. Ellos get stuck in el thin place between this world and el next, como a coat enganchado on a nail, and ellos pull and pull. And so Maria did not rest. Ella was sent back, las stories say. Dios la devolvió, or el universe did, or whatever power keeps track of what people owe. And ella was told, you lost your children, you encuéntralos. You don't stop until you find los. And ella has been looking ever since. Esa is who is la Llorona, la crying woman, la woman who llora out loud. Ella who cries. Ella walks along rivers and lakes and streams, any water that moves, because water is where ella lost them, and ella calls for sus children in a voice that sounds like cada sad thing that has ever happened all at once. Mis hijos, ¿dónde están mis hijos? My children, ¿dónde are my children? And here is la part I need you entiendas. Here is why this story is not just sad, why it is scary. When La Llorona cannot find her own children, ella takes other people's niños. Ella is not malvada, not exactly. Ella is sadness that turned into a ghost, and sadness does not think con claridad. Sadness just tries to grab things, and ella intenta to grab any child ella finds near el water at night. Ella tries to grab them the way alguien who is drowning tries to grab things, not to hurt them, but because drowning people grab onto anything they can reach, and they pull you under with ellos, even if they do not mean to. Every grandmother in Mexico and el suroeste, in Central America, in any place where las Spanish and las native people's stories came together, every grandmother has told their grandchildren, do not go near el water at night. If you oyes a woman crying near el river, you run away. You run and you do not look back, because if you hear her llanto far away, you are safe. But if you oyes la crying and it sounds close, sounds like ella is right next to your oído, right behind you, right there, she's far away. It's when el crying sounds far away that she's close enough to touch te. There are personas who have seen la, not in las old stories. I mean real people, people que are alive right now. Truck conductores on empty roads near rivers in Texas and Nuevo Mexico see a woman de white standing by the side de la road at 2 de la morning, and ellos slow down because ella looks like ella needs help, and then ellos see her face and ellos drive away fast. Ellos just se alejan. People who go fishing before el sun comes up oye something by el water, a sound like a woman crying, and then el sound of the water moving because something big went into ella, and ellos do not stay to see what it was. Children, and this is lo único that makes me feel scared. Children who wake up their dreams and say, there was a woman outside la window la noche, dressed the white, and ella was calling for someone, and her face was la saddest face I have ever visto. That is La Llorona. She's still looking. Ella has been looking for 400 years, or 4,000 years, depending on which story you believe, and ella has not found what she's looking for, and that is why ella will never stop. Do you still hear el creak? Yeah, I thought so. Now listen closer. Is it changing? Is there something in that sound that wasn't allí a few minutes ago? A sound, a feeling, something that almost sounds like, I'm just comprobando. Eso happens when to tell this story near water. Ella has a way la story has a way the calling to what ella talks about. I've told this story a lot of times over los years, and there have been unas pocas nights where I stopped right about aquí, and everyone se pusieron very still and very quiet, and nobody laughed when I said, is that el creek? Like right now? Nobody's laughing right now. Good. Eso means you're paying la right kind of attention. Yo want to leave you with this. La Llorona is not la bad person in her own story. La bad person in her story se alejó cabalgando on a horse with a fancy woman and never felt bad about lo que happened next. La bad person in her story was a hombre who loved without caring and left without looking back, while ella was left behind to carry all la terrible sadness de ello. La sadness rompióla. La sadness broke la por completo, down to la deepest parte who ella was. But that does not make la safe. Being rota is not safe. Being that sad is not safe. Las things that follow us around are not always bad. Sometimes ellas are simplemente lost, and lost things in la dark can hurte de ver propia way. So if to live near water, if to have children who play near water, if you go near el water at night, listen. And if you hear algo that sounds like a woman crying somewhere out in la dark, somewhere past los trees, if it sounds far away, do not wait to find out, my niños. Where are my children? That is la story. That is La Llorona. Now, everyone move a little closer to the fuego, okay? Just for tonight.
El fire keeps the dark from lying to us.